everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bullish or Bearish. I'm Angela Chu with Success Options Group, and I'm here again with my brother Tony. And we're going to give you another great topic where we're going to give you both sides of the story and let you kind of hear about all the details so that you can make a decision for yourself.
Yeah. So, today's topic is one of those that's I'm Tony, by the way, is one of those that I saw on social media, and it's kind of one that got me thinking. And it's one of those, what we're talking about this week is recession, and whether a recession would be a very good thing or a bad thing. And I'm taking the side of recession would be a good thing. So, a lot of it depends on where you are in life. But I think the one thing that everybody can recognize is that we've talked about this in prior videos, is there's a bubble in almost every asset class: real estate, stock, pretty much everything, right? There's a bubble. And a recession is a sale, essentially. Everything's on sale because the bubble pops, in a sense, and all the asset prices come down, and people that are priced out currently have a chance to get in.
Okay, it's wonderful that you say it's a sale, but the problem is that a sale requires you to actually have the capital to take advantage of the sale. And the problem is that with a recession, most people who have their money already invested would be losing money if they tried to, they don't have the free capital, the free money to actually buy the stuff that's on sale. And the problem is that if they have a lot of their money invested, then things get more expensive, like higher rent, higher food prices, higher gas prices. I mean, there are so many issues, like things that are going, like everyday things that are more expensive, that they end up needing to sell at those sale prices, which means they're losing money because they need that money to cover their living expenses.
Now, I hear you. And when I hear that, it kind of makes me think that you don't have a plan, right? And you're just holding on to your investments and just watching it go down as the bubble starts to pop. And we talk about this a lot in our workshops and our strategy sessions, is just what is your plan? If you are currently invested, right? How do you what is your allowable loss before you're going to start reducing your exposure, right? And for people that aren't as invested, this is where the part about the recession, lower prices comes to play. Is they're able to get in because they're not priced out. They're able to afford a larger amount of shares, or they're able to purchase that real estate. And the big thing also that happens in a recession is that the easy money faucet gets closed off, right? Because part of it is the reason why these things happen is because the credit is so easy to acquire, right? And people just are basically bad companies are staying alive. And one of the things that recessions do is they kill all of these bad companies, right? If you're not making money, you're not going to survive, right? And then you're going to be out of business.
Okay, it's great that you're talking about these bad companies, getting kicked out and stuff. It does, in a sense, make the quality of the investment market better. But the fact is that it's something that we always talk about in our workshops and our classes and all that, is that the problem is that most people don't have a plan. And most people think, they just give their money over to an investment group or something, and they don't actually have the education that is needed to make the good decisions for themselves. So all they really can do is by the time they notice that they should be doing something about it, it's almost always already too late. And then not only are they not just looking at their investments and having an issue with that, they have to worry about things about the high unemployment, because even as we get closer to a possible recession, they have to worry about all these big companies who are going to be starting laying off people, firing people. They worry about their job security. There's so much that's going on, that is, in a sense, taking over the majority of their mind, their processing power, that a lot of people don't even plan about their investments until holy crap, I've been so worried about all this other stuff that I haven't even noticed it. And like we have to acknowledge that this is a problem and a major concern for everybody out there.
Yeah. So I mean, that gets at like whether your skills are marketable, right? It's like, and I think that's how a lot of people feel like, well, you know, especially recently during this whole pandemic time, is like, well, I'm able to find a job fairly easily. So that really gets at like, what are the skills that you bring to the job market, right? Whether they're something that can be used or they provide value. That would be the way to say it. They provide value and somebody actually wants those skills. Suffice it to say, social media, it's debatable skill, right? I know that's kind of hypocritical doing a video right now, but I mean, that's what it gets at is like, are the skills that you have, are they marketable and will they survive a recession? Will you be able to find work in that kind of market, right? And I mean, that's why people have that confidence that if their skills are at that place, they will still be able to work, they'll be able to invest and all that stuff.
Well, okay, that is true. But the fact is also that we also know that because of everything that's happened because of the pandemic, the government has been printing out so much money, giving so much stimulus, that the government has pretty much done everything it can to boost the economy. And that's not sustainable. So they have to start tightening their belt, bringing things back. And when they do that, they're not going to be able to like print even more money because that's just going to put them back where they were before. So as this recession is in a sense to rebalance everything. But then, people still have to worry about the fact that there are lost opportunities and things like education and private investments. All of these things suffer during a recession.
Yeah, I mean, there's that saying, don't fight the Fed, right? Don't fight the Fed. I know you say they can't keep printing, but we've done videos on that. I'm not so sure that's true. But I mean, just to get back to recession, not all investments in recessions tank though either, right? And we've talked about this in prior videos. There are things like precious metals and the ways you can do other investments, which in a sense, real assets usually hold their value better. And that's one of those things where as a knowledgeable investor, you can still profit during these times when there's a downturn in the economy.
So you talk about those things. That's true. There are areas, like we talk about these in our classes and our workshops, is that there are ways to choose areas that will not be as affected by a recession. But the fact is that the recession really affects pretty much almost everything in your life. Because if you think about it, the quality of services, the fact that like, especially with like the whole thing with Ukraine right now, our supply chain is still all messed up. Companies still have issues with their supply chain. Even though I'm talking about unemployment and companies like firing people, we also still have the problem with the fact that there's not enough employment for services that we need to have done. And so that we can't get things done either because there's nobody to do the work. So it's kind of like right now, because of the way our current situation is that this recession is just kind of just driving everybody into a corner with higher prices for everything you need for life and a lot of difficult choices that everybody has to make about what's more important right now and where to spend their money.
Yep, very well said. So, I mean, you and the audience, what do you think about this? Is a recession a good thing? Is a recession a bad thing? Is it like hitting the reset button on your computer, or is it like setting fire to the whole forest, right? Those are just some analogies, and make sure you leave some comments, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we'll definitely see you next time.